Have you ever seen your reflection without really recognizing yourself? Not your face, but the energy that lives within you, that presence that you don't see, but that the world feels every time you enter somewhere. There are people who don't know they are attractive, not because they lack beauty, but because they have forgotten who they are. Their light is natural, silent, but it disturbs, captivates, soothes, or troubles, without them making the slightest effort. What if this was the case for you? What if you were much more magnetic than you think? Not because of your appearance, but because of your frequency, your presence, your awakened soul. Today, we're not going to talk about superficial charm or retouched images. We are going to talk about this inner magnetism that Jung called the unconscious force that attracts what we are ready to recognize in ourselves. Stay tuned until the end, because what you discover here could transform the way you see yourself and the way others see you. 1. Energy before the face. Before anyone even looks at you, something older, something more subtle is already at work. It's not your face they notice first, nor your gestures, nor your voice. It's your energy, that invisible imprint that precedes your body and speaks for you before you even open your mouth. Every human being has a unique vibration, but most don't feel it because they live disconnected from themselves, trapped by an image, a role, a facade. You too may have believed that your attractiveness depended on what you show. In reality, it depends on what you are when you're no longer acting. Energy is your silent language. It is deposited in your gaze, in your way of listening, in your inner rhythm. When you are at peace, your whole being becomes an invitation. A centered, aligned person exudes a beauty that has nothing to do with the symmetry of features. It is a beauty that rests, that inspires confidence, that calms, and paradoxically, it is this inner tranquility that attracts the most. Those who encounter you don't know why they feel good in your presence, but they feel it. Their subconscious recognizes the light of your balance, this effortless presence that doesn't seek to seduce. Your magnetism comes from the fact that you don't try to please. It comes from the silence you exude, from this peace you carry without naming it. There is a kind of grace in those who no longer need to show themselves, for their very existence becomes a message, and that message says, I am here, fully, without a mask, without expectations. This is where the real attraction begins, in what you unwittingly emit. 2. The look that returns. You've probably experienced it before without even realizing it. You're walking down the street, crossing a public space, and for a moment, you feel that slight thrill. Someone has looked at you. You continue on your way. Then, instinctively, you feel it again. That second glance, the one that returns. It's not rushed, not curious, but intrigued. This gaze doesn't seek to consume you, it seeks to understand. This moment, almost suspended, has nothing to do with seduction. It reveals something deeper, a presence that goes beyond form. When someone turns to see you again, it's because they perceive what their mind hasn't yet been able to define. A subtle imprint, an inner movement that your passing has awakened in them. You didn't do anything special. You didn't try to attract. And that's precisely why you attract. Because true beauty doesn't call, it calls back. It awakens an ancient memory in the other, that of truth, of naturalness, of that which does not lie. The gaze that returns is not always a sign of desire, but often a sign of recognition. The other's soul has perceived yours. It has turned again to check if it was real, if this tranquil light it felt was not an illusion. This double gaze is the silent mirror of your essence. It does not ask you to change, but to see yourself as you are already perceived. Because every time a glance comes back to you, life whispers to you, "You think you're ordinary, but you leave a mark." And this trace, invisible but real, is the vibrant signature of your authenticity. 3. Nervousness around you. There are times when you notice that certain people, who are comfortable with everyone, suddenly become awkward around you. Their voice changes, their posture stiffens, their gaze shifts or lingers too long. Sometimes you think it's you who's bothering them. In truth, it's your presence that confronts them with something they can't control. The nervousness you provoke isn't a barrier, it's an energetic reaction. It says, "I feel something I can't name." Your energy acts like an invisible mirror. It makes masks fall without you meaning to. Those who are used to playing a role suddenly feel vulnerable because your authenticity leaves them no refuge. When an aligned soul enters a space, it changes the frequency around it. Voices lower, gestures change, gazes become attentive. This is not power in the social sense. It is vibrational power. You impose a presence, not by will, but by truth. The human mind isn't accustomed to authenticity. It often seeks to understand, categorize, and control. But when faced with pure energy, it loses its bearings. This disorientation, this confusion, is a sign that you're making an effortless impact. So don't try to make others more comfortable. Their discomfort isn't your problem. It's their soul reacting to yours. You're unconsciously reminding them of something they've forgotten. Sincerity, depth, real presence. It's not you who makes them nervous. It's their own truth that awakens in your presence. And few people know how to remain calm in the face of the light they have not yet recognized within themselves. 4. Attention without reason. There are attentions that you do not seek, but which come to you. Simple, almost insignificant gestures. Someone asking your opinion on an unimportant detail. A colleague suddenly finding 1,000 excuses to approach you. A stranger lingering in a pointless conversation. Nothing on the surface seems significant, and yet everything is. People don't always know how to approach what they admire, so they create detours. Some write to you to ask for advice, others stop you to talk about nothing, but behind these small gestures, there is a silent tension, that of a presence that attracts without meaning to. You see, when a soul is luminous without being aware of it, it becomes an enigma. People sense it before understanding it. They want to stay close to it, even for no reason. It is not the appearance they seek, it is the inner state they feel near it. A rare peace, a vibration that soothes everything they cannot name. This need to be around you isn't dependence, it's an unconscious call for balance. Those who feel lost naturally seek out those who embody stability. You then become an anchor, a silent landmark. But be careful. Don't confuse this attention with validation. It doesn't define you, it reveals you. It doesn't elevate you, it only testifies that your presence is active. When someone seeks your contact without a clear reason, it's not your appearance they're looking for. It's your energy they recognize. It is a soul that says, without knowing it, greater than, stay a little. You remind me of the peace I forgot. 5. Unjustified criticism. When your light rises, it doesn't warm everyone. Some souls find comfort in it. Others feel threatened. It's not because you do too much. It's because you are too much. Too true. Too calm. Too centered. Too free. And the world often hasn't learned to love what it doesn't understand. Unjustified criticism isn't a judgment on your worth. It's a revelation of your radiance. What the other person is attacking is what they haven't yet accepted in themselves. When someone criticizes your authenticity, it's because it reflects too clearly to those who live a lie. When someone belittles you, it's because they instinctively sense your inner altitude. There is a silent law in spiritual life. The more you naturally shine, the more you awaken the shadows around you. Some will perceive you as a threat, others as an inspiration, but none will remain indifferent. Don't try to please, to soften yourself, to fit in. The light that tries to make itself small always ends up going out. Remember, it's not your job to make others comfortable in their inconsistency. Your role is to stay aligned, even when your alignment is disturbing. Wisdom is seeing criticism as subtle evidence. You're shining brightly enough to awaken something. So when you are judged without cause, smile inwardly. For in truth, you are not rejected. You are recognized, but by eyes that are still blind. And one day, those who misunderstood you will see that they were only resisting the light they already carried within. 6. The unconscious smile. There are smiles that belong to no one. Smiles born from a moment, from a vibration, from a simple presence. You're walking aimlessly, and suddenly someone looks at you and smiles. Not a forced smile, not a calculated one. A smile that seems to come from afar, as if your energy has unwittingly touched something sweet within them. You might think this moment is trivial, yet it is a sacred language. The energetic world speaks through these simple signs. When your being is at peace, when you vibrate without tension or expectation, you emit a frequency that touches the heart even before the gaze. This smile you receive is the silent response to what you unknowingly offer. The human soul recognizes peace. It rests in it, if only for a moment. And when someone smiles at you for no reason, it's not you they're thanking. It's the feeling they rediscover through you. You remind them of something familiar, an old light, a calm they thought they'd lost. It's not beauty that attracts these smiles, it's conscious presence. The kind that doesn't need to please. The kind that naturally exudes serenity. It is a brief communion, a recognition from soul to soul. So the next time a stranger offers you a smile, without knowing why, don't look away. Welcome it as a mirror of the divine. Because in this simple moment, the universe whispers to you, greater than what you emit comes back to you in the purest form, the quiet joy of being seven. Discreet attention. There is an attention that words do not admit. It slips into silences, into a gaze that lasts a little too long, into a restrained gesture. You feel it sometimes without daring to believe it. A presence follows you with its gaze, then fades away, as if afraid of saying too much. This discreet attention is the most honest form of desire, the one that does not dare to disturb the balance. You see, it's not always romantic interest. Sometimes it's a silent recognition. The other person senses a vibration in you that they haven't yet found within themselves. They sense something rare, something soothing, and their gaze naturally catches on it. It's not your appearance they're observing, it's your state of being. Conscious souls know there is a magnetism that transcends the physical. It is an energetic dialogue, a subtle dance between two frequencies. Your calm attracts those seeking stability. Your inner light attracts those still living in the shadows. You do nothing, yet you become a landmark. Those who are already committed, already bound, are not always insensitive. Their gaze, even if it quickly turns away, bears the trace of astonishment. They do not understand why they feel drawn to you, and yet it is not you they are seeking. It is the clarity they feel through you. Don't run away from this attention. but don't feed it either. Observe it as a sign. When your energy is balanced, it acts like a beacon. It illuminates without burning. And those who encounter your light don't always desire it. They recognize it. Because deep down, what we call attraction is often only the memory of a light that we all carry, but that some have not yet awakened. 8. The invisible impact on networks. There's a subtle kind of magic that escapes the naked eye, and it's the magic that operates on social media. You sometimes see simple profiles, faces stripped of all artifice, and yet these accounts attract, fascinate, and hold you. It's not a question of a filter, perfect lighting, or calculated posture. It's an inner vibration that comes through the screen. When you post, you leave a trace of yourself, an invisible imprint that resonates beyond the image. Those observing don't just see your appearance, they sense your authenticity, an energy that doesn't seek to seduce, but attracts in and of itself. Your naturalness becomes a silent language. It speaks to the soul before the mind even has time to analyze. This strength, often overlooked, is that of the alignment between what you are and what you show. The effort, the will to appear, even subtle, creates a noise that masks the inner light. While your simple smile, a sincere gesture, a moment shared without calculated intention, touches deeply. Others feel it, even without being able to explain it. On these platforms where everything seems superficial, this authenticity becomes a beacon. You don't need to multiply posts or use strategies. Your essence is sufficient in itself. The views and clicks are not just reactions, they are echoes of your presence. There is a silent law of resonance. What vibrates true attracts what is ready to receive that truth. You are already communicating what many are desperately seeking to produce. Your simple being becomes a universal message that others unconsciously pick up on. 9. Confusion of others. Attraction, when it runs deep, has the power to destabilize. It doesn't always manifest itself in a linear fashion. It creates a back and forth, a subtle oscillation between desire and fear, between approach and flight. People who approach and then move away aren't always unstable or superficial. They're simply trying to decipher an energy they've never encountered before. Your presence disrupts their bearings, challenges their certainties, and this can be both frightening and fascinating. This movement of attraction and withdrawal is often a sign that something authentic is manifesting. Your aura, even silent, has the power to disturb. It reveals what the other does not yet dare to confront within themselves. Hesitations, returns, temporary departures are not rejections, but internal processes of confrontation with what they perceive as rare and true in you. Each retreat contains a reflection, each return an unconscious recognition of your light. In this subtle dance, you become a mirror. You reflect back to the other what they had not yet seen, what they did not know they desired. The energy you emit creates a space where others oscillate between curiosity and fear, fascination and confusion. It is a territory where the surface of appearances fades, giving way to a deeper, almost mystical experience. You are not responsible for their movements, but simply for your own alignment, your inner coherence that continues to radiate despite the apparent chaos. 10. You ignore your own power. It's strange how unaware we can be of the strength we already possess. You doubt, you compare yourself, you minimize who you are, when your power lies precisely in this simplicity that you deem insufficient. This rejection of artifice, this unfiltered authenticity, is a rare vibration. It attracts, touches, and inspires, often far beyond what you imagine. Your power isn't in demonstration. It's in presence, in silence, in naturalness, in this ability to be fully yourself without trying to control the impact you have on the world. Those who observe you sense it. There is a subtle balance between strength and gentleness, between depth and lightness. Every simple gesture, every honest look, every uncalculated word becomes a vector of inner seduction. It's fascinating to see how what you consider ordinary, others perceive as exceptional. The evidence of your being, your alignment with yourself, becomes a language that no one can teach or copy. You are already more influential than you realize, and your strength lies not in what you do, but in who you are. Recognizing this, without arrogance but with awareness, transforms the way you see yourself, and by extension, those around you. You are a rare balance, a silent phenomenon that radiates beyond images, beyond words, simply by existing in truth. You see, attraction has never been about looks. It's about alignment between who you are, who you believe you are, and what your soul radiates when you stop playing a role. People sense this consistency before they even understand it. This is what makes some people look at you twice, others feel nervous, or your absence weighs more than your presence. So stop doubting your power. Recognize it, embrace it, without pride, but with awareness. Because the rarest beauty is not the one we show, it is the one we embody effortlessly. If this message spoke to you, if you recognized yourself in these signs, take a moment to share it with someone who has forgotten their light. Subscribe, and let's continue together on this path of inner understanding, where true beauty begins, in self-awareness.